There's been so much talk about whether or not the stimulus package is working. Is it getting to the places it needs to get to start working? What's your sense of it as a mayor, getting some of that money?
Well, there are two problems I'm having with the stimulus package. First of all, only about 10 to 12% of it's being used for infrastructure. And it was kind of sold as rebuilding the infrastructure of America, and very little of it's going toward infrastructure. And the infrastructure that it's going toward is mainly filling potholes and repaving roads, which is not long-term sustainability. You know, I've said before that Roosevelt built dams, Eisenhower built highways. We're really filling potholes with very expensive money.
There's a couple of questions, Mayor McCrory, pertaining to that. Because first of all, in terms of job creation, that's not long-term job creation. That's not jobs that develop into more jobs that are higher end, which is, by the way, the large percentage of people who are unemployed have jobs that are 10, 20, 30 years high-level, white-collar jobs that, how do you replace those? Not with potholes.
No, most of the other 80% of the money is mainly going to fill government jobs. I'm using it to hire new police officers in Charlotte. Now, that's the good news, and we need new police officers. The bad news is the grants only last about 2 years.
Again.
So mayors and governors have to make sure they budget for the long term and don't get stuck in the same position 2 years from now.
But let me ask about that. You hear about the states are really going to be hammered when the stimulus money runs out next year. Is it that Charlotte and North Carolina are sort of generally regarded as very well-to-do, much more prosperous than a lot of states? Are you being hammered by this cutback in revenue because of the recession?
Oh, absolutely. The state's billions of dollars in debt is in very tough government. The state government's in terrible deficit right now, and they're using some of the stimulus money to fill the deficit. So 2 years from now, they're going to have to deal with the same issue. My revenue in Charlotte, my sales tax revenue is down 19% this year. And that's a big hit, especially on my transit system. And so we're all having to make adjustments and cut back.
Mayor, what are some of the projects you'd love to spend money? You said there's a clog. Where would you direct the money to create the kind of jobs that you're discussing?
I probably would have directed toward major highway programs, and I'm a mass transit advocate. I'm a Republican who believes in mass transit, and I couldn't apply it to mass transit because they weren't shovel-ready. And that's the second issue I had, was this definition of shovel-ready is very difficult for cities, because in cities you have to go through environmental studies and engineering studies, and that means they aren't ready to go. So you tend to pick short-term projects that don't have sustainability.
All right, Mayor McCrory, thank you so much. Great to have you on the show.
It's great being here. Thank you for having me.
I love hearing the story about Sully's flight. That's nice.
Just hope you get him on the way
their
home.
Egos are exactly the same. It hasn't gone to their heads. They're real pros. They're heroes.
I met him at a party.
They saved a lot of lives of people from Charlotte, too.
Right.
And I want to thank them.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.